Good morning. My name is Reverend Sandra Fees, and I use she, her pronouns. Our chalice reading this morning is To Face the World's Shadows, A Chalice of Light by Lindsay Bates. And this is the time for you, those of you who are at home this morning, if you have a candle or a chalice, to light yours there as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary. To face the world's shadows, a chalice of light. To face the world's coldness, a chalice of warmth. To face the world's terrors, a chalice of courage. To face the world's turmoil, a chalice of peace. May its glow fill our spirits, our hearts, and our lives. And good morning again, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Berks County. Wherever you are this morning, however you are joining, you're welcome here. Welcome in this sacred space. We come to this time of worship to make meaning of our lives, to make meaning of the world around us, to connect to that source of life and light and love and peace. We come to find warmth and courage. As we begin our time together, we honor the Lenni Lenape people upon whose ancestral land the Unitarian Universalist Church is located. As we are gathering, I want to extend a special welcome to anyone who might be visiting with us this morning. Those joining online, I hope you'll take a minute to write your name in the chat box and share where you are joining from and on whose ancestral lands. You'll find the Unitarian Universalist Berks web address in the chat box. You will also find there a link to today's order of service. And I always want to remind everyone, if you're not signed up for our weekly newsletter, I encourage you to go on the website and to sign up there. I have two announcements for you this morning. I want to remind and encourage all of our members to mark their calendars for the congregational meeting next Sunday, the 12th, immediately following the service, and you may participate on-site or online. Also, beginning next week, we are going to be lifting the requirement to register for Sunday morning worship. You will still need to provide proof of vaccination, and you will still need to wear a mask when in the building. But we hope that this might make it a little easier for folks to participate. And in any case, I really encourage all of you to participate online or on site as meets your needs, your spiritual and physical and emotional needs. You will also, to that point, you've been getting emails every week to register. You will get some reminders this week for those who haven't provided proof of vaccination to do so before you come on a Sunday morning. And it's a good time to just go ahead and send that into the office now, so it's already ready when you're ready to be here. At the end of our service, as is our custom, we will have fellowship time in small groups for those online, and for those on site, we can gather in the Gerber room for some conversation. But for now, I want to invite you all to take a moment to greet one another with a wave, a namaste, hand over the heart, a smile. Our service this morning is a time to reflect on peace. I invite you now to enter into this time of worship, into this time of reflection with our opening song.
Thank you, Sandra. And we are in the process of reviewing our meeting procedures, and we truly hope that we can include singing to this list soon. And this morning we're erring on the side of caution. So online participants, please sing along to the words you'll see in the chat. And we ask our on-site members to participate in our music this morning by rising, moving our bodies and clapping or tapping along and listening deeply. Excuse me, I think I had too much coffee this morning. I will slow down my words. All right, so this one is 221, Light One Candle. It's a great one to tap along to, and Tracy's gonna offer us the chorus to find a tap that you might like. 1 second. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all that we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in the flame. What's the commitment to those who have died? When we cry out, they have not died in vain. Have we come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears.
So, seasonal celebrations of light, like lighting candles, help to create meaningful experiences at the holidays. They can connect with us with our past, tie us to our present, and help us dream of the future we commit to seeing, like our song said this morning. This year, as a church community, we're honoring the significance of the winter holidays with the UU Advent Wreath. And this is our second week of celebrating this ritual at church. We hope that you'll do your best to incorporate it into your family celebrations at home as well. Here's how 2 of our families have done so this past week. What will yours be? Soon we'll have a slide up. So thanks to Lynn O'Brien and Lauren Fritz for sharing some photos that we'll see in a moment, and tagging #UUBerks on Facebook. Each Sunday morning and on Christmas Eve, we will light the Advent candles together at church and reflect on the themes of hope, peace, joy, and love. If you want to light a candle, if you want to light the candles at home too, you might need an Advent wreath available at Michael's or local stores, or online, some candles, 3 purple, 1 pink, 1 white, although some folks, you'll see, will have just all white or other colors. Greens for decoration. And Advent candle lighting words found on the page that we're going to be sharing in the chat, and there are printed copies out in the vestibule area. So, we'd love for you to show us what you come up with this week by tagging us in a picture you share or emailing us. Let us now join the Hawk family on Zoom in lighting the second Advent candle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Advent wreath has 5 candles. 3 are purple to represent hope, peace, and love. 1 is pink to remind people of the joy of Christmas. The 5th is white to represent the light.
On the second Sunday, I light 2 candles. The first for hope. The second is a candle for peace.
As we light this candle for peace, I invite you each to reflect on what seeds of peace are growing in your soul. We're going to take a minute or so of silence for you to consider, journal, or draw your answer, and then we will share ours. Please find a moment today to share your answer with a loved one. What seeds of peace are growing in your soul? The seeds of peace growing in my soul are practicing compassion and understanding in all of my interactions with people.
The seeds of peace growing in my soul are giving to those who need us. Mine is spreading kindness.
Mine is sharing peace and being there for those friends who are feeling the absence of peace in their own lives. May the light of this candle help us bring more peace into the world.
Good morning, all. My name is Jean Kakuza. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm delighted to be able to read a beautiful Christmas poem by Maya Angelou this morning. She wrote this poem, Amazing Peace, for the 2005 White House tree lighting ceremony. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Floodwaters await us in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves. What have we done to so affront nature? We worry God. Are you there? Are you there really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters. Streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor, come the way of friendship. It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the world, brightening all things, even hate which crouches breeding in dark corridors. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now. It is louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled for its presence. It is what we have hungered for, not just the absence of war, but true peace. A harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace. Come and fill our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at our world and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my siblings. Peace, my soul. The beautiful poetry of Maya Angelou.
Thank you so much, Jean. On December 25th, 1967, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered a sermon at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. It was a sermon about peace. And in his sermon, Dr. King said, "This Christmas season finds us a rather bewildered human race. We have neither peace within nor peace without. So it is this Christmas season. These many years later, the season finds us a rather bewildered people. We ask ourselves, what seeds of peace are we growing in our souls? What seeds of peace am I growing in my soul? And I, for one, did not anticipate just how difficult it would be to answer that question, to reflect on those seeds of peace and how to grow them. This week, the United States identified its first case of Omicron, which is now in over a dozen states. This week, a 15-year-old student killed 4 other students and injured 7 others in a Michigan high school. This week, the Mississippi law that bars abortion after 15 weeks came before the Supreme Court, bringing into question Roe v. Wade nationwide. This week, a United Nations report confirmed a shadow pandemic. COVID-19 has resulted in a significant increase in violence against women and girls. This has resulted, they believe, from being locked down with their abusers during the pandemic, and also from a reduction in services and funding for survivors. The news is bewildering, angering, unsettling. Why must this human race be such a bewilderment? Why must there be environmental disasters and viruses? Why such fear and rancor and hatred? Why must nations argue? Why must individuals fight? And how, amid and despite recent events, do we come away from anxiety and rancor? Our 6th Unitarian Universalist principle affirms and promotes the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. That is certainly a high ideal, isn't it? For we Unitarian Universalists who devote ourselves to this goal of peace and have, many of us, for years and decades, and as Unitarian Universalists longer than that, it is hard and heartbreaking to bear witness to the violence. Even as we hunger for peace and even as we work for it, we see that progress is slow, too slow, and that sometimes the progress we hunger for and long for, our highest ideal, is being reversed. We see the pain and the suffering and the inequities. And even as so many terrible events keep occurring around us, we are asked to come the way of friendship. It would be so lovely if peace, that peace we dream of, would simply be the way of the world. I imagine that sometimes. It would be so comforting if peace would just blanket us all with kindness and compassion and care. One of the things that I have experienced and have noticed is that even on those days when it's so hard to see or feel peace, even then, our religious community, this one and Unitarian Universalism more broadly, keeps the flame of hope and peace alive. Even then, and especially then, for isn't that when we most need it? The flaming chalice symbolizes our commitment to peace. It symbolizes many, many of our most cherished ideals and values, one among them being peace. Some of you know the history of the flaming chalice. Others may have heard it and dimly remember it, and others may not be so familiar with the history of this symbol of ours. The symbol is an enduring one for us. we faced the turmoil of Nazism by creating this symbol. It began as a way to save lives. It's so important for us to remember that when we light this chalice. It began as a way to save lives, to offer safe haven. The chalice was developed as a symbol during World War II by the Unitarian Service Committee. It began as a logo, and that logo was used on letterhead and on trucks, and it was a way for those who were being persecuted by the Nazis, Jews and also others, to recognize those who were friends, those who would help to bring them to safety. Over time, the flaming chalice came to be a collective symbol of ours, of sacrifice, of community, of justice and care, of peace. And today, the chalice remains a beacon for us, a guiding light for us, for our faith community. And this morning, across the nation, and also in many other countries, there are Unitarian Universalists lighting chalices, lighting them at home, lighting them in sanctuaries, lighting flames, whether electronic or otherwise. It's a way that we symbolize rededicating ourselves to peace and to justice. We light the chalice to symbolize that collective commitment. We light it, as Dr. Angelou says, to encourage the world to come away from rancor, to come the way of friendship. That way of friendship, the peace that we long for, isn't, as Angelou says, just the absence of peace, or the absence of war, excuse me. It's something even more than that. It's a harmony, and it's a sense of security. It's the hope that there can be friendship among differing cultures and nations, that there can be friendship across differences of gender and race and ability. It's the prospect of an end to hatred. It's the commitment to foster respect among the different religions of the world and the non-religious as well. This means respecting other people's understandings of the divine. It means celebrating difference. And it includes embracing the tools of nonviolent action in our protests and in our justice work, and how we approach the world around us. This faith, Unitarian Universalism, reminds us to cultivate peace, that rigorous and robust peace. It reminds me to cultivate peace in myself and in the world. It encourages us to keep speaking the word peace aloud, as Angelou advises, even when peace is elusive. She says, we look at our world and speak the word aloud, peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say, without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my siblings, peace, my soul. And Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher, said that there must be peace in the heart for there to be peace in the world. And so I want to invite you. We had a little moment earlier to reflect on the seeds of peace that we're cultivating in our souls. And I want us to take a little more time this morning to see if we can cultivate and locate that peace in our hearts, to speak the word aloud. So take a moment right now. Take a moment pause, to notice your breath, to notice your body. And maybe you want to close your eyes, or maybe you prefer to focus on something that brings you peace. Maybe for those who are here on site, it might be the chalice, might be the Advent candles, might be the Christmas trees here, could be our stained glass windows, the beauty of the space. For those who are online, perhaps you want to look out a window at a cloud or a tree, or maybe you have a beloved animal companion nearby that brings you peace. Just take a moment to notice your own body, to notice the space that you are in. Notice your breath and whisper to yourself that word, peace. Peace. Say it again. Peace. Say it unapologetically. Peace. Without hesitation or without shyness. Hold the word. Hold the peace. Hold the sensation in your body, in your mind, in your soul. Whisper the word to yourself, peace, peace. Can you feel the peace that you are invoking? Can you feel the peace that we are collectively invoking in our shared space, in this sacred gathering, in this community? Whisper the word again, peace. Let's hold the word in a moment of shared silence. And say it aloud one more time, peace. And then as you feel ready, open your eyes if you've closed them, bring your attention back if it has wandered. Notice how your body feels. Notice how the space feels. Remember to say peace without hesitation or apology. This week, later today, if you're feeling unsettled, say the word aloud, peace. You know, even though Dr. King recognized that the season finds us a rather bewildered human race, he also declared in that same sermon that he still had a dream. He still had a dream of peace. He spoke of peace even when it was hard to find, and so must we. He still envisioned a time when every person would respect the dignity and worth of others. He believed the hungry would be fed, that justice would roll down like waters, that elected officials would do justly, that war would someday come to an end, that no one would need to be afraid. Just imagine if no one needed to be afraid. He declared, these are his words, "I still have a dream that with this faith we will be able to adjourn the councils of despair and bring new light into the dark chambers of pessimism. With this faith, we will be able to speed up the day when there will be peace on earth and goodwill toward all. It will be, he said, a glorious day. The morning stars will sing together, and the children of God will shout for joy. Let us hold fast to a vision of peace and to the hope of a world that comes away from rancor and comes into the way of friendship. Let us be children of God, children of love, who help to speed up the day when there will be peace on earth, when there will be goodwill to all. Let us be the people who embody the word peace. Let us speak the word aloud. Peace. Peace, my siblings. Peace, my soul. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be. One of the ways that we strive to cultivate that peace within ourselves and in each other and in our world is by sharing our joys and our sorrows, by sharing our prayers with one another, by noticing our own lives and naming what is happening for us. You're invited now to take a few moments to reflect on your life, on what you are carrying in your heart and your soul and your mind and spirit. Those who are online may share their joys and sorrows in the chat box. Those on site are invited to come forward and place stones in our common bowl. And I want to begin this morning with news of several members and friends of our church community. I want to begin with news of Jean Hayes. Some of you may have seen her obituary in the newspaper. A memorial service will be held for Jean here in our church on December 28th at noon. Jean was a beloved member of this congregation for many years. She served on the board and was treasurer before she moved more recently to suburban Philadelphia to be near her family. I would also ask you to hold in your prayers Todd Gladfelter and his wife Cindy Ross and their family. Todd fell off of the roof and he broke his neck. And he's been in Reading Hospital for not quite a week, I believe, and he is paralyzed on one side. The extent, of the mobility that will return is not yet known, but they hope that he will recover some mobility. He will be moved to rehab, I believe, in a couple of days to continue his effort and struggle and hope for recovery. I'd also ask you to hold Richard Stringer in your thoughts and your prayers. Richard is struggling with a decline in his health due to Parkinson's. He lives with his son and daughter-in-law in Wyomissing, but is no longer able to physically come to church and be with us here. I hope you will hold these families, these individuals in your prayers. And let us now share ours as well as we listen to Spirit of Life. Let us hold these joys and these sorrows in compassion, in tenderness, and care. And let us hold them in the words of Lao Tzu. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. May we each endeavor to find and hold peace in our hearts. May we share it with the world that needs our care. We share through our offerings, the offerings of our gifts, the offerings of our ministries, including our financial gifts. We give and receive from each other, from the world. Your financial generosity, and I want to say we have a generous community. The generosity of all of you, our members and friends, makes it possible for us to live out our principles, not only here within our walls and in our community, but beyond. It allows us to spread hope and courage and forgiveness. You may make a financial contribution online through the Giving app or by check. Those who are on site may place a check in the box in the Gerber room that's labeled for that purpose. You may also mail a check or go online later and make your contribution by app. This is a time for us to share what we can to practice generosity and gratitude as we give and receive these gifts. I want to say thank you to Tracy and Evie for our beautiful music this morning. And Tracy, with our trees here, is tucked behind a tree for me, so I'm not getting to see her over there, but I can hear her beautiful music. I'm going to close with words from the Gaelic runes. Words I believe that you've heard before, words that are in our hymnal. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Blessings and peace to all of you for the infinite peace. Amen.
Amen. People, look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People, look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way. Furrows, be glad, though earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish, that in course the flower may flourish. People, look east and sing today. Love, the rose is on the way. Stars keep their watch when night is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. People, look east and sing today. Love, the star is on the way.
And I invite you now to our fellowship time, to coffee hour, a time to be in conversation. In a few moments, those online will be invited into breakout groups, and those on site are welcome to stay and gather in the Gerber room for conversation.